our country was born, not everyone was given equal protection under the law.
If you didn't own property, you couldn't vote.
If you were a woman,
You couldn't own property.
and if you were black, you couldn't own property.
Or vote. Or drink at the same drinking fountain as your white friends.
But there's still one group of people that aren't given basic civil and legal rights.
And there's over 72 million of us in the United States.
72 million. It's us.
It's us.
It's us.
We've had suffrage, we've had emancipation. It's time for a civil rights movement for the most vulnerable group of Americans, our kids.
The numbers of children involved in child abuse are overwhelming. It's staggering.
It's not acceptable to have 5.5 million allegations a year of neglect and abuse towards children.
We're creating a population of adults never to find their compass or their moral ground because of what happened to them as a child.
There's nothing more touching than looking into the eyes of a child who's been damaged by physical and sexual abuse. It robs them of their childhood.
It's incomprehensible that 1,500 children a year would die because of neglect and abuse. It's just not a society that any of us would want to live in, and yet that happens every year, so we need to change it.
The system is overloaded, and we need help.
We need some grown-ups to help us.
Because the problem is worse than you think.
These numbers aren't small. The impact on society is extraordinary, and we need to build better systems and be more responsible adults than we have been.
First Star shines a bright light on these situations of abuse and neglect and the bureaucracies that enable them, and we share that information. From knowledge comes change.
I think it's important to train those people who are going to work with an abused youngster in particular, because they may not understand how the child is seeing the world. And I think it requires not just one area of expertise, but many areas of expertise to help that child through the trauma that they've experienced.
Every child victim should have a voice, a powerful, trained, professional voice in the court process.
Many states don't even provide an attorney for the children in the court system, and in that case, those children are, their whole fate is decided by a judge who really hasn't had the time to take into full account what that child's been through and what that child really needs.
I believe that children deserve lawyers because as you are born, you are a citizen, and a citizen has the rights under the Constitution. The Constitution promises you due process. Why not invest in the legal system protecting our children?
All I want is to have my voice heard.
All I want is to have my voice heard.
Lobbyists. Kids don't have any until First Star.
Children haven't had a voice, a powerful voice, a lobby group even, in government.
First Star's Congressional Roundtable is the highest forum to educate our legislators and to enable them and assist them in passing and enforcing legislation that will put kids first.
This whole issue of the best interests of the child rises way above the fury and the fuss of partisan politics.
The best interest of a child is not a partisan issue.
Children are not Republicans or Democrats. They're human beings. They're our future.
Change doesn't happen without activism, a movement of people who open their eyes and care.
First Star is absolutely timely because it is the wake-up call. It's the clarion call. It reminds those of us who are thinking about it, who work on it steadily, who go to the floor of the House to fight for legislation. It says to us that it's not enough.
We're First Star, and we have a plan.